How did I get my Marina 200 pump to sound so quiet? Stay tuned. Hi everybody, welcome again to another episode of Fish Keeping Jamaica. Welcome to my channel. Okay, so for the past year, 2 years, I have been using Marina series in AIRPUMP. I have been using a 50, 100, a 200 Marina, right? And I realized that there is an issue with this Marina pump. Whenever it's aging, right? When you have it for a long time, right? But before I actually go into the holes, allowing it to sound quiet, I have to actually pull this and share with you something. So I've shared it to you in a past video, where in which I actually look at at the diaphragm of the pump, right? This is the diaphragm, this is the diaphragm, and this is the power supply, right? And the power supply, yeah, it can actually give some amount of shock, right? Okay, so I've realized this issue with Marina pump series, where in which you're gonna be doing some maintenance on your aquarium, and the first thing you do is like take off this. You take off this and you take off this, and then you do the maintenance inside, because as you all know, air pumps are kept at the top of your aquarium because you don't want backsliding when there's a power outage. Right now, I realized that for the 70 gallon that I built in 2021, I've had the same problem, and I've actually experienced this problem on two other system, or should I say the air pump that I have, a 50 and another 200. Now what I'm talking about is the top here, right? Now whenever you're actually removing the hose, if you don't mind sharp, everything actually comes off. I mean, everything actually comes off. This sticker black thing that push out the hole, sorry that push out the air, it actually comes off in the hose. And I realized that that's one of the problem with the Marina. And if it was like one time it happened, I would say okay, it's a one-time anomaly. But I realized that I've actually had to deal with this situation on about 4 or 5 occasions with different instruments. Alright, so I'm going to be pulling this down, and I'm going to probably, I don't want to disconnect the air off it, because I don't want to be in any more problems trying to get it on. What I did so as to get back the top here back on is to use super glue. And so I use super glue so as to actually get this thing back on. I had to cut it off. I'm going to be sharing a little bit more on that. Give me a sec. This is the section of the pump that actually holds the diaphragm together. This vibrates on in the pump. This is propelled by, the vibration is propelled by this power supply, right? And I explained that in a previous video. As I said before, I had to actually cut these, I don't know what you call them, let's call them antennas for the time being, right? I had to sandpaper down the hole, sandpaper down the top, and use the super glue so as to hold the I use the super glue so as to hold the top on. Then I had to allow it to dry for a while, and then I placed it back in. But it could not have been placed in because the holes right here was actually centered. So what I had to do, I had to just take a knife, sharp instrument, and I had to pluck out the holes a little bit more wider, because in placing on these little two antennas, right, I realized that instead of going straight, it was like a little lean, and it gave me a lot of problems. I wanted some air in my aquarium, and so I just let it be. So if you look at it now, it's slanty what I call it now, slanty slant, right, slightly slant, right, to a particular direction. But actually placing this in, I realized that it was making a lot of noise, right? So I placed it in, it was screwed down. I'm going to be sharing with you what I actually did. So after I'd actually done all of that, right, I placed it in, screwed it down, and I plugged it in, right, I plugged it in, and this was the noise that I was getting. Now, how did I actually get rid of this noise? Because even when I placed the cover on it, this is how it would sound, right? So what I did, right, I remove this section, right, with the diaphragm, right, and then I got two pieces of cardboard neatly placed into the bottom of the pump that kind of disallow this section from actually sitting on the base of the pump, right. I placed it in, right. After placing it in, I then screw down the middle section, right. That is after I had done a little work here and to ensure that no air escapes around this section of the pump. I actually applied excess super glue around here, right, and had it stay there for about half an hour before I placed it into action. After doing all of that and allowing it to set for a bit, hear the difference? Yeah, this is the difference. So when I place the cover on, right, and it is screwed down totally, the sounding is totally different. Carefully now, you realize that you can hardly hear anything in the pump itself. That's because the cardboard kind of helped to cushion that section of the apparatus, so as to prevent the rigorous vibration. And that's how I ended up getting my two side of the aquarium. Yes, this is the old 60 gallon in which I divided in two. I'm going to be taking out these fish right now, and I'm going to be placing them into a different space. Then I'm going to be placing a different set of fish here. It's hope that this video was a little bit insightful. It should help you in managing your air pump. You know, Marina is a very good pump. I have had it outside for a long while, and it have actually worked. Yeah, being covered, you know, being covered from the elements, but it is really good. However, the issue about the snout right here, the antennas I call them, right, is something that is real. So as to prevent that, a lot of person, what they do, well, so as to prevent the plugging in and out, what a lot of person do is to actually have a hose extended from here, and they would have like a little coupling, so as to place the hose in and take it out at whenever. But I don't think this should be something on the part of the owner of the device to do. I think that Marina need to strengthen this section of the pump so as to disallow the antennas from being drawn out when they're actually drawing out the hose. Thank you again for stopping by, guys. Have a wonderful day. Peace out. Catch you next time. Bye bye.